Look at the beautiful picture here. There's a little girl. She's sitting in the water. She has some balloons filled with water. She tied it up. And what is happening to the balloon? It's all floating on the water. She's kicking the balloon. And the balloons are of different colors. And the little girl is very happy. Would you like to play with water? Yes, you like to play with water, like to splash water, you like to make a mess. And mommy will say, My, look at the work you give me. No? You like to fill the balloon, burst the balloon. You will see the balloon floating in the water. You like to float the tiny balls in the water, tiny plastic toys in the water. All that gives you a lot of joy. Playing with water is good. Putting, measuring, pouring, seeing the water being poured, all that is very good. And you must play both at school and at home. Ask mummy's help. Why? Ask grandma's help. Look at the lovely picture of a girl sitting inside a large basin, probably with a lot of balloons full of water, balloons floating. Let's read. She loves to play with water. She loves to play with water. Do you like to play with water? Yes, you do. Who doesn't like? I too love to play with water. Pouring water from one vessel to another, filling up the balloon, making paper boat, putting the water, allowing the plastic toys to float in the water. Lot of water game you can play. Here the little girl, she loved to play with water. Good. Let's look at another picture and see what play can we learn. Wow, look at this little girl. What is she doing? She has a pretty little doll here. The little girl is playing with her doll. Looking at her doll. What will you do with your doll? Combing the hair, dressing the doll, putting powder, putting shoes. All that gives you lots of joy. Why do you like to play with the doll? Mommy dresses you, combs your hair, washes you, put shoes for you, and you like to do the same with your doll. Yes? And what do you feel? You feel very happy playing with your doll, like mommy feels playing with you. Okay, look. She likes to play with a doll. It's a special doll. Do you have a special doll? What is the name you're given the doll? Yes, you give a name and then what do you do with the doll? You take a tiny comb, brush the dolly's hair. What else? Take off the dolly's shoes, put it back again. What else? Take off the dolly's dress, pretend to wash it and pretend to dry it, put it back on the dolly. What else? You hold the dolly by the hand and take the dolly for a walk. You pretend. What else you do? You feed the dolly. You feed the dolly some food. You put the dolly to sleep. You rock the dolly in a cradle, and so on and on. You read a story to your doll. So, like the little girl here, she likes to play with the doll. You too play lots of game with your doll, don't you? Good. Let's look at another play in the next picture. Look, little boy is sitting at the seaside. You like to go to the beach? Yes. Here is the little boy, so happy, sitting by the beach. He's got a basin here and he's playing with sand. He loves to play with sand. What do you think he's doing? With sand, he'll make a house, he'll make a sand castle, he'll make a sand ball, throw it into the sea. He allows the water to come, wet the sand that he is playing with, wash his hands and legs in the water. He will take the water and put into the sand. He'll dig a hole in the earth, pour water and put in. Lots of things he can do at the beach. The sand at the beach and the water play at the beach is simply beautiful. The next time you ask mommy and daddy, tell, I love to play with sand at the beach. Please take me with my toys to the beach. Let me please play with the wet sand and water. The boy is enjoying. He's so happy. He loves to play with the sand. Now, when you go to the beach, you take your toys with you. What else you will take? You'll take your friends with you, or you take your sister and your brother with you, and all four of you or three of you sit together and play with the wet sand. It's good for your hands, it's good for your brain. Only thing, the play must be safe. This little boy, he loved to play with sand. Playing with sand is good for your hand. Good. Let's go to a new picture and see what game we have over here. Here is a little girl. She's got whole lot of colored clay with her. All colors, purple and pink and orange, yellow and red and white, all the colors. Do you have colored clay at home? Did mommy buy you clay? Yes, she does buy clay for you. If you don't have clay, what do? You ask mommy to give you some wheat flour and mix it with water and give it to you. And that clay is also good. It is like clay, the wheat flour. You can also play with it if mommy gives permission. This little girl, she can play with clay. She's happy to play with clay. She's happy making things with clay. Now, with the colored clay, what can you make? Yes, you can make some fruit, shape some fruit, some vegetable. You can make a table and chair. Good. What else? You can make a doll with the clay. You can make pussycat, some animals with the clay. What else? You can make bread with the clay. All kind, any shape you want. We can make with the clay and then put it back, put the clay back into the bottle, close it to use it for the next time. So, colored clay is very good, but you must wash your hands after you play, put away the clay after you have enjoyed. Good. She can play with clay. She can play and enjoy with clay. Good. Shall we look at a new picture and see what game we can play? Good. Look here. There's a little boy sitting here, and what is this he has? He has a top. What do you think he is doing? He likes to play with a top. What do you do with the top? You spin it. You just spin it and it goes round and round and round. Do you have a top at home? How do you spell top? T-O-P, top. Who helps you to play the top? My mummy and daddy plays with me. They help me to spin the top. There's a little knob on top. All you need to do, twist it, and the top goes round and round and round. It goes spinning, spinning, and you feel very happy. Mostly, boys like to play with the top. He likes to play with the top. And you get what color top? Different color top, different size top. For little boys, tiny top. For the bigger boys, bigger top. They can make the bigger top spin for a longer time. That's called spinning. What does the top do? Top goes spinning. Good. Now let's look at another play in another picture. Shall we? Here we are. Here is a little girl sitting in the park or sitting in the school playground, and she loves to play. What? Sliding. She comes sliding down the board. She likes to play with the slide. How do you go up on the slide? There's a ladder at the back. You go up. Then you sit on the slide. Let go your hand. What do you feel? You just fly down. How do you feel then? You feel happy? You feel light? You feel joyful? What is the most important joy here? When you land down with the thud, you feel really happy. Now, do you like to play on the slide? Yes. Do you have sliding board in your school? Do you go to the park where there are sliding boards? It's a very interesting game because you got to climb up carefully up the ladder and you must slide down. When you come down, also, you must be very careful. You can either hold at the sides or leave your hand. Okay? You feel like a butterfly flying down. Isn't it? Good. She likes to play in a slide. She likes to play in a sliding board. Go up the ladder, come down sliding. Good. Shall we go to another picture and see what other game we can play? Look at the beautiful game this little girl is playing. Is she looking happy? Yes. Why is she happy? She's blowing bubbles. She can play with bubbles. If you have little straw, little soap water, there you are. If you blow into the tube, into the straw, bubbles will come. You can catch the bubbles, you can let the bubbles grow small, big, and let it go far, far, far. And it's a joyful thing. She can play with bubbles. Now, when you go for your bath, put soap in your hand. Do you know to make bubbles? Yes, with little water, you can blow into the soap in your hand and you can see bubbles. So you can play with bubbles. Playing with bubbles is very interesting. She can play with bubbles. Can you play with bubbles? Yes, you can play with bubbles, blowing bubbles. Good. Let's take another picture and see another game that we can play. Look, here is a park. The children are at the park. Children play in the park. What are the games you can play in the park? You can play on a swing. You can play on the sliding board. You can play on the merry-go-round. You can play hide and seek. And there are many other games. You can climb. There are climbing things, sliding things, swinging things, all kinds of things in the park. Why do you like to go to the park? I like to go to the park because there are many toys to play, many games to play, and it is a happy, fresh, big, open space. It's fresh air. Who takes you to the park? My dad and mom, my grandparents also take me to the park. What do the children do at the park? Children play in the park. You too must play in the park. And when you play, you must be careful not to get hurt. Also, when you play on the swing, when you play on the sliding board, you must give others a chance. Good. Shall we look at another play in another picture? Good. What do we see here? Here's a little boy at the lawn. And what is that yellow thing? A ball. He's kicking the ball. He can play with the ball. Do you have a ball? Yes. What do you do with the ball? You kick the ball. You bounce the ball. Good. You catch the ball. You throw the ball. Good. Now, this boy is playing alone, but you can play with the ball with your brother, sister, with your neighborhood friends. You can play with your cousins. You can play with your pet cat. You can play with your pet dog. You can play with your grandma and grandpa. He can play with the ball. You too can play different games with the ball. Good. Now let's look at a new picture and see what game can we play. Here we are. Look at the beautiful smiling face. What does she have in her hand? She's got two sticks and something colored here. What do you call that? That's called xylophone. If you tap each of these bars with the rod, it will make a nice little sound. Each bar will make a different sound. If you run the stick over each quickly up and down, it will make lovely tinkling sound. And this is called xylophone. She can play the xylophone. You too. Can you? Yes, you too can play the xylophone, make lovely music with the two sticks on the xylophone, each bar making a different sound. And what do you feel when each colored bar makes a different sound? What do you feel? You feel happy. Who do you play for? You'll play for your mama. You'll play for your little sister. You can play the xylophone for grandpa and grandma. And what will they say? Good. They'll clap hands for you. Good. So today we learned to play a lot, to play different games, enjoy games, learn to share, learn to win and give.
Please subscribe to our channel, and for latest update click on the bell icon.